everyone. Welcome to the Love Artemis YouTube channel. We are your hosts, Becky Rynkiewicz, and I'm here with my beautiful co-host, Raffaellina Merlino.
Hi guys.
And we are the founders of Artemis Real Estate, a Philly-based international real estate company on a mission to educate, inspire, and serve in all things real estate.
Yes. And today we're going to be talking to you about how Artemis Real Estate got started, telling you who we are, and really our mission and why we decided to start this incredible partnership with Becky and I. So we're just going to tell you a little bit about how we got started in the industry, and then we're going to share with you some of the things that we're heading into. So Becky, start us off. How did you get started, and how are we here today?
Yeah, so I got started in real estate in my mid-20s. I have a marketing degree from Bentley University, and right out of college, I was a district manager for a grocery store chain out in New England. I was doing that for about 4 years, but I just felt really unfulfilled. I was not happy with what I was doing every day. There was just something missing in my life. And at the time, I was married. My ex-husband got a job transfer to Columbus, Ohio. And in Columbus, I decided to finally quit that job that I just wasn't fulfilled and did not have a fire burning inside me every day when I woke up to go to work.
Right.
And I had to figure out what I wanted to do. So I ultimately decided to get into real estate because at a young age, I was really, really inspired by real estate. I grew up in a trailer park. I never was able to live in a house. And I always vowed to myself that one day I was going to buy a house of my own and not live in a trailer park. And I was able to buy my first house when I was 23. And I just love the process, from everything from finding the house to negotiating the reply to inspections to obtaining the mortgage to closing, just the whole process in general. And that's when I decided to get into real estate. So I got licensed in Ohio, and I joined a fabulous team in Columbus, Ohio, Keller Williams Capital Partners, and they really taught me everything that I need to know to begin my success in real estate. All the foundations is the Labuda Advantage team. Shout out to the Labuda Advantage girls if they're still watching. I still love them, and I really owe my success to them for building that, helping me build that foundation. So I did that in Ohio for a little under 2 years. And then I sold about $4 million in my first year in real estate, being Rookie of the Year. It was really exciting, not having any leads, no knowledge of the market in Columbus, no contacts, no friends. So I really hit the ground running and worked really hard to do that business my first year. I got divorced and I moved back to my hometown of Doylestown, PA. And I had to start over again. So I had to get licensed in Pennsylvania. Yeah. I had to recreate my sphere of influence. I had to hit the ground running and cold call and door knock and do all the things to set myself up for success, to be a successful agent here in the Philadelphia area. So I've been now selling real estate in Pennsylvania since 2014. And I've really achieved great success in the last few years, and but still, I just felt like there was something missing, because real estate, it's a lonely business. It's a very solitary business. You're by yourself. You're on the phone all day long, as we know, on the phone, writing emails, showing houses, meeting with clients. But other than that, it's just you. And so I just felt like, there was just something missing, and I was being called to do something more. And even though I had great success and I've sold over 350 homes in my career and over $65 million worth of real estate, I needed to do something more. And so I was chatting with Raffaellina. I wanted to make a brokerage move and come to Keller Williams in Philly, in Center City, and she was already there. And we were chatting with that idea and, figuring out what, the logistics were of helping me move. And Raph was like, why don't we join forces? I'm like, oh my God.
It really made sense. We've only been friends for how many years?
Yeah, 4.5 years. Yeah. So that's how I got started, and kind of how we started talking about joining forces.
Yeah.
So why don't you talk about how you got started in real estate?
Absolutely. So it's interesting enough, Becky and I actually met while I was getting my New Jersey real estate license. So that's really where my real estate career started and she's sitting next to me. I think you had like a cell phone, a laptop, and an iPad, and she had deals going, and everyone else in the class was just getting started. So no one had anything going on, and I'm like, I'm sitting next to her tomorrow. Ended up being a huge snowstorm. She actually came to pick me up in her sports car, and I'm like, this is how I knew we would be friends, because no one else would come and pick me up, and other people just didn't show up to class.
Yeah,
so I knew we
really
definitely.
Yeah.
But for me, I was, I grew up. I was raised by an Italian immigrant family. My parents came here really with nothing, and so we are entrepreneurs at heart. They own restaurants, and they're still there 45 years later. I think the best pizza in the world, but I might be biased. And
shout out to Enzo's by Lake.
Yeah, we'll tag them below.
Yeah.
And so I went to school for Fairleigh Dickinson University. I think you and I were just talking about this the other day. I remember crushing 5 years of college into like 4 years because I wanted to earn the scholarships, because I just, I didn't want to have to put that burden on my parents who were working 7 days a week, 12 hours a day, and I didn't want for my other siblings to miss out. So I decided to take this on my own and just really, and I remember sitting down with the dean and asking him for a scholarship. I said, can you, and we actually worked out a deal. So it was incredible. So where there's a will, there's always a way. So I earned a marketing degree as well. I had an undergrad in economics and hospitality, and from there I ended up in fashion. And I always kind of had this, I guess, for art and fashion and really just all things beautiful, really, just always drawn to like horses. And so I ended up at Christian Dior for many years, a wonderful company to work with. But again, the unfulfillment. I think at some point I realized that I didn't want to exchange time for money, and I knew I always wanted to have a family. And the one thing that I will say with my one goal in life is to be able to have dinner with my family every single night. As a family, we can only share a meal once a week. Because of the fact my parents
when
were
you're growing up,
growing up, my family, we could only have dinner once a week because that's the only day they had off. So fast forward, I met my husband. He was living in Philly, and I fell in love with the city of Philadelphia. I mean, I just saw the potential, I saw the growth, I saw the vibe. I mean, the food scene here, I think, is probably the best in the world, honestly. It's incredible, the level of talent in the city. So I decided to come in and get my real estate license just so I could educate myself in real estate, because we were actually building real estate. That's how I got into the industry. I started developing new construction, and I'm like, I went from like luxury handbags to this, like two different. So I spent every day on the job site. I learned about every single aspect of the building. I learned about every trade, about every permit, the entire process. I mastered this. And then, of course, my greatest skill set is the design process. I took that, it's amazing how God works. Like, He aligns you with all the gifts you need so that when you come into your space and into where you belong, you get to do exactly, you're there to perform. You're ready to perform. So we sell these beautiful homes, and then all of a sudden I'm meeting builders, and then all of a sudden now I'm like, wait a second, I could really start a real estate sales business. So I became kind of like a builder's consultant, really, at that point. And now the passion is just connecting the home builder to the home buyer, and just seeing the home buyer create this house into a home, and watching families and building communities. We'll be talking about passive income strategies. We'll be talking about investment. We'll be talking about building strategies. Yeah. And so when Becky and I joined forces, it wasn't even so much of, I think we can both say we're successful on our own.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it was really the idea that we were so ingrained in the same mission. And I think that that's what has aligned us. It's not just about serving and selling real estate, but it's really about this beautiful mission. And so, Beck, why don't you share our mission statement, maybe our value statement, which you have written here, and then maybe let's walk into like telling them how the name Artemis came about.
So we knew we wanted to work together. We made that very clear, and we're like, yep, we're doing this. So we needed to figure out and put on paper really what our company was going to embody, and create a mission statement, a vision statement, and our core values. And we still don't have a name at this point, but we're like, you know what, the name will come. We need to figure out what our mission, vision, and core values are. So our mission statement is to create an environment that has positivity, empowerment, and excellence through community contribution, all while serving our clients with love. That is our mission statement, and what we do every day, and what Raf and I have been doing, and what has brought us success thus far. So really that's what we do when we wake up every morning, and we end the day that way too.
And the mission wasn't something we had to create out of nowhere. It was based on the values we already have in our personal lives. And so then it took us into our vision, which is to become the most impactful international real estate group, providing unparalleled excellence in service while putting people first. So actually that was inspired by our chief operating officer, who you'll meet, Nino, and she said to us, the most important thing when serving a client is the excellence of service, the Ritz-Carlton way, ladies and gentlemen serving ladies and gentlemen. And that idea is something that really comes naturally to us. We don't go to bed at night until our clients are served. We do that with our family, our friends, and our community. So these are things that sort of come naturally. And so we wanted to just share them and put them out on paper. But we got to tell you the story about the name, because now we have this vision, we have this mission, and we're driving down the streets and we're looking at street signs. Like maybe it'll be like, I don't know, Delancey team or the Philly. And we're like, we don't want our names because we really want other people to feel like they can build their own identity within the brand. And we didn't
want to limit ourselves just to Philly either, because we want to be international. And that's why we are speaking it into existence. We are going to become an international brand across multiple industries. So we needed to figure out and get a name that can encompass all of that. So, do you want me to tell? Okay. So, we're like going back and forth. We're like, all right, this name, nah. And it's the day before Mother's Day. And Raffaellina calls me and she's like, so I don't know what you're going to think about this name, but something is telling me that I need to tell you about this name because like I'm just being called to do it. And I went to her wedding in Italy in 2017, actually almost 3 years ago. At this point, it was so crazy. It was beautiful. It was on the Amalfi Coast. It was lovely in Italy. And she wore this beautiful wedding dress, okay? And the designer was Sarah Nori, and she's like, you know how much I love my wedding dress, and I have this fabulous designer. And the name of the dress that Sarah Nori designed was called Artemis. And I actually just got goosebumps too. And she's like, I just think there's something beautiful and elegant, but very also masculine about this name that is just so incredible. And what do you think of the name Artemis? And I like just on the silence.
Are you there?
I'm like, Raph. And I've never told her about this because it was just such a one-off story that, I'm not going to call her and tell her the story.
Exactly.
So a year prior, I had just sold a flip that I just done because we also flip houses. And I made a great profit. I made $117,000 in net profit.
Which will be teaching you how to do that as well.
Oh yeah, that'll be another YouTube channel. So I just made this great profit, and it was Mother's Day. And my mom, she's been through a lot. She lost her husband in 2016. She's a widow, and she's just such a special and amazing soul. And I wanted to take her out for a fabulous Mother's Day. So me and my sister take her out to this great restaurant right on the river in Irwina, Pennsylvania, right on the Delaware River. It's a beautiful setting. It's an old stone farmhouse converted to a gourmet restaurant. It was so good. And we sit by the fireplace. And I said, Mom, you can order whatever you want. Don't look at the price. I want you to order the nicest bottle of wine, like whatever. And we come from very humble beginnings, living on food stamps in a trailer park. So my mom would never go into a restaurant and order a $200 bottle of wine. That was like the grocery budget for the month for the whole family, right? So she after some going back and forth because she didn't want to, she finally decides to order this bottle. And she's like, what do you think of this Cabernet? It's from Stag's Leap Vineyards, and it's called Artemis. And I'm like, I've never heard of it, but I'm like, I love the label. I thought the name was really cool. And so we ordered this bottle of Artemis, and it was a fabulous bottle of Cabernet. And I actually brought my phone out. I Googled what Artemis was, and Artemis is the Greek goddess of the hunt. She's the twin sister of Apollo, and she was the protector of her community, empowered other women, helped birth new things in the community with women, and she was the hunter of the community and provided for her family and the community. And so I just thought it was so cool and just really badass,
And she did, and she had this nurturing way about her. So as strong as she was, she had this femininity and this grace to be able to help women birth new things, whether it was children or so that idea it really encompassed our mission, and to have that synergy of having something where it's like something we had never spoken about.
Yeah.
And we've had in-depth conversations about so many things in our lives. So for that not to have happened, it just seems so non-coincidental. And there's so much of that that's been happening through our journey. This idea of, I think we can both say it's been a long journey of just pushing and digging to get to those goals, and to finally feel this feeling of being pulled towards whatever it is that whatever it is that this is his ultimate mission. And one of the greatest parts of this journey of success that we're already experiencing is how we will be able to contribute. This idea of like giving 10%. So we will be donating 10% of everything that we earn. In all of our businesses. And so Becky donates to Last Chance Ranch, which is an incredible, we'll be talking more about our philanthropic efforts that way. There's an adoption agency, also my church, and there's a bunch of other ones that we'll be talking about. But our efforts are so much more than just selling a home. It's really about touching the community both here and internationally. So we just ask you to join, come along for the journey. Be sure to like, subscribe, and
share this content. If you find value in it and you think that our videos and our story would inspire others, please feel free to share and tell your friends and family about it.
And then as always, remember to live fully, give selflessly, and serve authentically. Have an awesome day.
Bye.
Take care.